Chapter 6197. As soon as Jacob said the words, Liang Yun on the side couldn't help but laugh. He had never heard of people who donated money to charity and regretted it and wanted to get it back. Today was an eye-opener. However, the operator was obviously more experienced than him. So he only heard the other person explain slowly. Sir, according to relevant national regulations, public welfare donations donated to charity, disaster relief, and poverty alleviation cannot be cancelled at will. Jacob said quickly, I really accidentally clicked on the wrong one. I originally wanted to donate 30,000 yuan, but I accidentally pressed an extra 0 and donated 300,000 yuan. You can tell your boss how to cancel it and return 270,000. That is enough. The operator said apologetically, I'm sorry, sir, we have strict financial regulations here. Which means that we have no right to use the charitable donations in the account at will. Every expenditure here needs to be clear. Approval process. If you think there is a major misunderstanding in your donation, you can hire a lawyer to submit an application to the court. If the court supports it, your donation will be revoked in accordance with the law. At that time, we can rely on the results of the court's judgment. I'll return the money to you. Is it so troublesome? Jacob said anxiously, it only takes a long time. I donated too much. Can't you just give me the excess? Isn't it natural? The operator explained, charitable donation itself is a very serious and strict matter. And since there are regulations on tax-deductible donations, we must act accordingly. Think about the process. If a company donates 10 million to us at the end of the year in order to avoid taxes, saving millions in corporate taxes, and then tells us after the year that the donation was wrong and the money will need to be refunded, then aren't we helping this company to evade taxes? Jacob blurted out, but I am an individual, not a company. The operator added, individuals are also involved in tax issues, and personal income is also subject to personal tax. Yes, if you donate the part of your income that needs to be paid personal tax, and then ask for it back on the grounds that you donated it by mistake, we cannot bear the legal liability involved, so if you want to return your donation, the only way is to go through the People's Court or an authoritative arbitration institution will revoke it. Jacob suddenly became desperate and said depressedly, I have to go to court to get the money back, and I will be busy for years and months. This money is life-saving for my wife. I'm sick and need the money for surgery. Can't you give me some accommodation? The other party said, I'm really sorry, sir, this is a matter of principle and it really can't be solved. Besides, I'm just an operator and I don't have that much power. Jacob didn't give up and said, then I can go to your leader for an interview, right? The operator replied, it's already past working hours. If you want to come to the leader for an interview, you can do it during working hours. Come to the foundation. After that, the other party said, but in order to avoid your trip in vain, I still recommend that you consult a lawyer first, and the lawyer will give you a very professional advice. Jacob was very upset. He was naturally unwilling to give up the 300,000. But now he knew in his heart that there was no point in spending it with the operator here. So he had no choice but to say, okay, I'll think about it myself first. After saying that, he hung up the phone angrily. Seeing that Jacob was still sulking after calling him, Liang Yun didn't want to continue to argue with him. So he smiled and said, Mr. Wilson, my place is closed. If you have nothing to do, if not, I will close the door. Jacob came back to his senses, looked at Liang Yun, rubbed his hands in embarrassment, and said, Boss Ju, actually I have one more thing to ask you for a favor. For you, it's a trivial matter, but for me, that's a matter of life and death. So I hope you will never refuse. Peter smiled and said, I definitely can't promise you in advance, but you can come and listen. Jacob hurriedly came forward and said with a flattering face, Boss Ju, Irvin's Circle of Friends, I believe you must have read it. To be honest, that circle of friends had a very bad influence on me. It has already affected the foundation of my calligraphy and painting association. You see, you have made a lot of money this time. Even if you donate 10 million, you will not pay it back. Is there 10 million left? The net profit is already 9.7 million, so I would like to ask you to help me dispel the rumors by posting on WeChat, saying that what Irvin posted on WeChat is all false. Peter thought to himself, the reputation of being suspected of fraud will definitely have a great negative impact on Jacob. If he is not completely cleared of this suspicion, he will really have a hard time in the Painting and Calligraphy Association, and may even be expelled. He is Charlie's father-in-law, I should leave him some room. But thinking of this, he realized another problem. Irvin's exposure must also be Charlie's intention. This means that Charlie deliberately wants to give his father-in-law a lesson. If I let Jacob go without Charlie's consent, it might go against Charlie's ideas. After thinking about this, he said tactfully, "I'm sorry, Mr. Wilson, this may not be able to promise you this. After all, I don't know what the whole situation is. Whether what you said is right or what Irvin said is right, I have no way of verifying it." Jacob said quickly, "Irvin is a slanderer. He used to deceive people in the antique street. He never speaks the truth. You must not believe him." Peter nodded and said, "To be honest, I really don't want to. I don't want to go into this muddy water to find out who is true and who is false. If you insist that the content he posted is untrue, then I suggest you confront him face to face. As long as you can win against him in the confrontation, then you are innocent and your reputation will not be affected in any way." Jacob said awkwardly, I have already broken up with Irvin, so I don't want to confront him." After that, he looked at Liang Yun and begged, "Boss Jew, look at me, I am definitely more reliable than Irvin. Irvin cheats and dupes all day long. Will he donate to charity? But I can.